So here we are, we're Carlson Encheff, based in the heartland. We're in the state line area of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. Based in the heartland, but you're building everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And it's not only throughout the United States, but my understanding is that it's becoming international as well.
Yeah, we've looked at a couple projects over the last year internationally. Kurt's got a military background,
right,
and actually a civil engineering military
yes,
background. So he's developed and done plans for military bases all over the world.
Right.
And unfortunately, one of those incidences ended up getting him captured on the TWA flight. But he's been everywhere, Egypt, everywhere, building these facilities, and so he has a huge knowledge and a huge passion for building internationally.
Right.
And so we are looking. We just looks like picked up a potential project to build a 400-key high-end resort in Costa Rica.
Okay.
I will be going down in August, the beginning of August or end of August, to look at the project. It's about 5,000 acres. They're building a residential, commercial there, and then we would do the 400-key resort. And then we're also looking at doing, with kind of a spin-off of starting our own little small brand, we're looking at doing about a 50-unit small boutique hotel out in Costa Rica.
Oh, okay.
And so we'd be probably doing both of those projects simultaneously. And then we have two other projects that we've been looking at for about the last 60 to 90 days that are international.
Okay.
And we're looking at some stuff maybe possibly in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and so we're definitely out there. We're not bound by any geographic so we'll cross the equator.
And again, with Kurt's real wealth of experience from his projects that he worked on as an officer with the Army abroad,
right,
it's just second nature.
It is. And and if you're looking at doing something, I guess internationally, we're a great company to talk to as a developer, because one, you have Kurt's experience of actually doing the work internationally, but he also understands the state issues. And certain states, as a U.S. citizen, you can't own property. Mexico, you can't own property outright there, and so there's certain areas that our government is advising you not to build any. And Kurt has a direct connect to the State Department. He can call and say, hey, we're looking at doing a project in Costa Rica. What do you think there? And so we know a lot about entitlements and getting, making sure you have titled land and your assets are protected.
There's a rule of law that you're operating within.
And so you really need to know that, because you could get yourself in a bad situation very quickly when you're building, outside of the homeland. And so we do offer that, and then also, with dealing with different cultures. Kurt has a large background in dealing with tribes and tribal land in the U.S. and abroad, and you have to be careful, because when you're building with tribes, they're their own system, they're their own judge and jury, and so if an issue was to arise when you were building for a tribe and you had an issue, you can't take them to American court unless to get the paperwork where they're waiving the tribal rights, and you definitely want to do that, because you want to have a fair and independent court system to deal with any issues. You always hope that there are no issues, but in development, things happen, and we've seen markets crash and Great Depressions, and we all remember 2006 Wall Street. So you definitely want to make sure that you're protected. And as far as development companies go, I think we definitely have a wide array of knowledge that can
which
do
will
that.
help to minimize the risk, because there's always going to be
there's always going to be risk, right? There's always going to be risk on our end and on your end, and so we definitely are there to minimize it.
Right. Yeah. And as far as the direction of the company, I would imagine that we can understand already where the direction is going. That it's hospitality industry, certainly maintaining activity within the assisted living, working with properties in tribal grounds, going international. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, we have mountains and walls and of projects and things that we've done and other companies that we're involved in that aren't just that aren't just development construction related. We have interest in a bank and
so
financial lending. We have huge interest in antique and muscle car collections and auctions. And Kurt has probably one of the largest the American picker collection that I've ever seen. Comes from his dad and his mom. They were both avid collectors of different things. Ed
Vi's
collected
antiques.
Vi had the antiques and musical equipment, and Ed's had Western collection and things, and Kurt's
Western
kind of picked up from that. So we have a large collection with that, and so we're actually currently working on building Carlson auto and collectible museums. We're working on designing that right now. And we've kind of picked out 4 locations where we think the first one will probably the first 2 will probably be in Texas, and we're looking at North Carolina potentially, and maybe Florida. What it would be really neat about ours is the idea is we have such a large collection, and we have connections to other people who have large collections, and so you could come into our museum once a month and see a new collection of cars every month. And so, it's not the repetitive, go through and see the same things. We're going to be switching the cars in and out. We'll also have memorabilia for sale, antiques for sale, car auction, car art for sale, those sort of things. And we're picking strategic locations that will fit into that. Like the first 2 will be on Route 66. And they'll fit into the areas. And so, a lot of neat things. And that's something that we're doing along the lines of passion. We have, it can't all be just about the bottom dollar. Some of the stuff you have to have passion for.
You got to have fun.
You have to have fun, and that's a huge. The car collecting is a huge passion of Kurt's. It always has been. He's got a great collection, and so to be able to put those museums together, so he can share his passion with everybody else, and his years, 40 plus years of collecting these items, and share that with everybody. That's going to be great. So our company's working on that.